Fantastic to be in Europe. I have to tell you how deeply touched I am and grateful that none of our people were hurt in the floods in Antibes or Nice or Cannes. I know there's a New Skin family. We stand ready to help each other, and I was ready to paddle my canoe right there to the Côte d'Azur. So grateful to be with you. I want to tell you some stories quickly about myself, about the Force for Good, and about the new products. Many of you know that I grew up, my father was a ranger, had a wonderful childhood. I lived in national parks, and although I didn't do things other American boys do, like play baseball, I learned how to walk up to deer and touch them. I learned how to recognize the different flowers. My father was a great man, a real conservationist. When he found little injured animals, he'd bring them home. So I grew up with little baby moose and birds that he was nursing back to life. My mother was a scientist, and she studied fisheries, and so I had sort of conservation as my father, science as my mother. And the real question I had as I graduated with my PhD, even at that point at Harvard, and here's my mother with me then, in 1981, the question I had is, should I become a ranger like my father or a scientist like my mother? I still haven't decided which way to go. But I think the profession I chose, ethnobotany, comes close to matching both. Because I spent a lot of time out in the villages. I spent a lot of time in my laboratory. I really wish you could come with me to both. You'd be welcome in my Land Cruiser. We could go into the villages. You'd be welcome in my laboratory. Some of you have visited me there. You're always, always welcome wherever we are. Thank you. Something wonderful happened early in my career. President Reagan gave me a prize which included a lot of money to do any research I wanted in the world. So I took my family to the distant islands of Samoa. We've got out a map, found the most remote island, the most pristine rainforest. So here I am with my little family. That's Barbara there, me, our oldest daughter Emily on the left. She's now a professor at the University of Washington. My daughter Mary, who's now a lecturer at Oxford University. Hillary, who Blake and I have special interest in, her child, and we share the same grandchild, and my son Paul Matthew. And what I did for an entire year was to live in a little village without running water, without electricity. All we took were suitcases with the children's school books and my research gear. We had such a wonderful time. The first week there, I was walking with Barbara on the beach. I said, Barbara, couldn't you live the rest of your life here? She said, 1 year, Paul. When it came time to go, she said, can we please stay? For an entire year, we didn't see any violence. We never heard people raise their voices against each other. Never heard words spoken in anger. Every day, the villagers would come by with a fish, with bananas. Everybody shared what they had. It was a beautiful experience. One thing the villagers taught me was so interesting. They plant their gardens not just to see the beautiful flowers, but they plant them for the fragrance. And the villagers told me that fragrance triggers emotion. I didn't understand that at the time. I wrote it down. I didn't understand it. But just in the last several years, our studies of neuroscience show that our olfactory nerve, that's the nerve from our sense of smell, goes from our nose through the brain right down across the emotional center. And if you think about this, have you ever smelled a fragrance and you feel an emotional memory before you can remember exactly what it was? Isn't that interesting when that happens? So as the people taught me about the plants, they also taught me about fragrance. So first question, and I'm going to give a little prize here. So where's Veronica? So you're going to look and find the first person what we're going to do is we're going to wait for translation so everybody has a fair chance, okay? The question is this, don't answer until translated. Can you guess what my favorite Epic product is? Wait until translation. Okay, pick one, Veronica. Okay, who is it? Have to stand up. What is it? Just yell it out. Ava Puimoni. Okay, can everybody say that, please?
Ava Puimoni.
Thank you. Now the reason that I washed my hair this morning in the hotel room with Ava Puimoni, every time I smell that, it takes me back to the waterfall where the women taught me how to use this product. And so no matter where I am in the world, I close my eyes, I put Ava Puimoni on my hair, and the fragrance evokes this emotional response, just like the villagers taught me. Anybody else have the same experience? Okay. We're going to ask another question now. This is another Epic product with rich fragrance. And we're going to wait for translation, so it's fair to everybody, okay? Which Epic product did I design while I was living in Sweden as the professor of King Carl Gustav? Okay, pick one, Veronica. Veronica? Okay, then we want you to decide. Which one?
Ice dancer. Ice dancer.
Ice dancer, that's right. Ice dancer. How many have tried ice dancer? The interesting thing about Ice Dancer is it has no added fragrance. No added fragrance. Everything you smell in Ice Dancer comes from the wild mint that's in it, okay? We're going to do a couple more questions here in a second, but as I designed the Epic products, I tried wherever possible to use the fragrance of the natural plants to drive what I call the emotional experience of the product. I don't know about you, but I connect emotionally to these products. I know that's a silly thing to say, but I feel happier when I put Ava Puimoni on my hair, when I'm hiking or skiing. I love the smell of the Ice Dancer. In fact, let me ask you one more question. Ready, Veronica? Let's come over this side. Veronica, over here. Okay. Come on. Okay, here's the question. Wait for translation, please. Which Epic product was chosen as the top personal care product in the United Kingdom?
Firewalker.
Go get it, okay? It's actually Firewalker. Anybody get Firewalker? Veronica? There we go, somebody back there. Thank you. Again, the smell of Firewalker makes me remember when I was so sick in a village and the healer took a leaf and rubbed it on my head, my body, and I could just feel the pain going out. And I still have that emotional response when I use Firewalker. The great thing that I love about the Epic products is that every time one sells, a donation goes to the Force for Good. And that to me is very, very important. So far, because of your efforts in selling Epic products and your donations, the Force for Good has allowed just ecology to build 250 schools and hospitals and water supplies in 56 countries around the world. And the last question, which Epic product results in the planting of trees? Everyone's have to choose that one. This is one of my favorite ones, and I think we should have named it Plant a Tree in Africa, Kids. So I want to tell you a little bit about the new products I've been working on, and I'm so excited for these products. So excited, and I hope I can come to Budapest or Oslo or Romania or Vienna or Nice or Paris or Stockholm. In fact, I will. And I want to show you how to say it. So what we've done is we've compounded these aromatic natural plant fragrances into the